a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Charlotte Tuesdays. I hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday. Like it's in the middle of October. And let me just go ahead and give a shout out because, it's October 17th and there were some important people born on October 17th. Should I be like that? I shouldn't be like that, right? But you know how when you weren't expecting to have a sibling and then your family brings this sibling along? That's how I felt when I was introduced to my sister because I was like, who is she? But anyways, so it's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Drea! She can be like, oh my God, thank you. You're welcome, sis. I can hear you all the way over here. Anyway, so I just want to say happy birthday to her first. Let me get that out the way. And then let me tell you about the resource for today. So the resource for today is Breast Cancer Survivors of Oklahoma. They are doing a wonderful job in the state of Oklahoma. They are looking for any breast cancer survivor, whether you're at the beginning of the journey, or you're in the middle, or you're at the end. It doesn't matter. They want to connect with you so that way they can talk and build a relationship because it is a sisterhood. And so this is a wonderful resource in the state of Oklahoma. They do several mammograms and other events. This past Saturday, they were at Quail Springs Mall, and a lot of the breast cancer survivors were able to do like a walk. They had a fashion runway, and it was pretty cool. So you should check out their social media, go to their website, and support. This coming weekend, they're going to be at a Fair of the Heart. I know I wasn't on the right tone, but that's okay. But anyways, a Fair of the Heart at the state fairgrounds. So if you want to go see them, I believe they're what booth are there? Number 45, 46. But anyway, I shared it on my social media. But go out there and talk to them. And then also support. You should definitely support any nonprofit that's doing something phenomenal for the community. You definitely need to support. All right. I didn't talk enough. I didn't gave my whole 3 minutes, almost 3 minutes there. So let me bring in the special guest for today. Are y'all ready? Let's see. Ooh, who is she? Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing well. This is LaKeisha Lewis, you guys. Welcome to Shredder Tea Tuesdays.
Thank you,
Wait,
thank you, thank you.
did you hear that audience applauding in the back? Okay. I do my
Oh,
own sound effects over here on this show.
no worries, no worries.
Right. So how are you? You doing pretty good today? Not too bad.
Yes, awesome. It's been a wonderful day. Wonderful
Well,
day.
that's good. That's good. And she got the lips popping, y'all. Look, I ain't mad at her. Hey, hey, go ahead. So Lakeisha and I go way back. When I say
Yeah,
way back, I mean like way back. So don't ask us about what year or any of that because that's none of your business.
yes.
Okay, but
That's personal. Personal.
right, it's personal. So, but I wanted to bring her on Share the Tea Tuesday so we can just kind of talk and connect and just share her story. Everyone has a story to tell, but it's up to you if you want to share it.
Yeah,
And I think that it's important for you to share your story because there's someone else that's probably in the same situation like you that could benefit from hearing some encouragement words or support or whatever that it may be. So,
mhm.
I don't know where to start. Where should I start, Keisha? I
Oh,
mean,
well, shoot, we
hmm.
can start anywhere. Now, first, I will tell your audience I am very country. So, uh, if I say something that makes absolutely no sense, just let me know and I'll go back and grab it and re-explain what I'm saying.
It's okay. Listen, it's two country girls. It's all right. Listen, I'm about as country as it gets. So if you are countryer than me, oh, we good. We good. We're good. We're good. They should be all right. They should be all right.
Okay,
But if you
okay.
guys have any questions, you can definitely ask. I mean, Lakeisha's pretty fearless. So,
Yeah.
you know, It is. But let's bring up some jazzy stuff real quick. Did you go to Langston?
Of course I did. Yes.
Okay, okay. Now you ain't got to say what year you were out there on the hill, but are
Yeah.
you going to homecoming this weekend?
I won't be going to homecoming because on the morning of homecoming, I will be participating in the breast cancer awareness walk with two of my friends who are going as a group. We're walking with boobies. And so I'll
Ah,
be going with them Saturday morning for that walk.
okay, okay. Now
Yes.
is Boobies an organization?
That's the group that they do because their mother struggled with breast cancer.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
And
All
I
right.
encourage if people are not going to homecoming, go to the walk and support someone that either you knew or someone that may be dealing with or nervous about, breast cancer, and go get a
Mhm.
mammogram. I went and got mine done today. It's not the most exciting experience, but go get it done.
Yay! I'm
Mhm.
happy that you got yours done. I've already did mine,
Yeah.
and um, I don't know if I told. I can't remember. I think I have told the people before, but I have to go every 6 months because of my,
Mhm.
risk. You know how
Mhm.
that goes. But anyways, but thank you for saying that. Can you tell us where will the walk be?
It is 500 North Couch. It's downtown.
Downtown. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So just trust me, it's gonna be all kinds of traffic. And does it start at 8 in the morning or
Yes, yes, ma'am.
9? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All righty. Well, good, good, good. Okay, so I will party for you because I'll be at Langston Homecoming. I'm not
Okay.
partying, but I'm working. But
Oh, well, and have fun. Enjoy.
right, I will try my best. I will try my best. But it is. But I appreciate you, um, walking and supporting for someone else.
Mhm.
That's always been a passion of mine. I've had several friends and family members that have been diagnosed with breast cancer, and so I always took it upon myself to support in every effort that I can, and then encourage, our women to make sure we go and get our mammograms. And let's just be truthful. We know that breast cancer is not just in women. We have learned over the years
Exactly.
men can get breast cancer too. So you don't have the same mammogram like we do, of course, but there are, I forgot what the screening tools are, but there are ways that they can check you
It's,
out and make sure everything is
exactly.
doing like it's supposed to. So we'll say that part. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, Langston alone. So Keisha and I have something similar.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't think people know what it is. I mean, some of them do if they from the Greek world, right? We'll share that first. We we in this Greek sisterhood. She's Zeta
Yeah.
Phi Beta. Now, how
Yeah.
long have you been in a Zeta?
Ever since spring of 2001.
Wait. So 22 years for you too, girl. Stop.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Been in the prime of
Wow.
womanhood since
Eh,
2001.
Look at there. I was fall of 2001, girl.
Wow.
2001 was a year. You know that, right?
Yes, that was very good. That was a very good
Yeah,
year.
that was very good. You can't tell us nothing about that year. If you try to, you need to go ask somebody else. But that is, oh my God, that is so cool. I did not know. Like, we're literally 20. 22 is a good year. I'm not gonna rub that in your face, Keisha. I'm gonna leave that alone. But 22 is a good year. No, I'm just
Yes.
saying.
Yes. Yes.
But besides our Greek sisterhood and all those things that we have in common, Keisha is also a cancer survivor.
Hmm. Hmm.
And tell us a little bit about that story
Well,
or about that journey.
the thing is, I had absolutely no idea that I had anything that would have been symptomatic or considered symptomatic of cancer. I was diagnosed with uterine cancer. And
Okay.
so, with that being said, that's something that I really never heard of. And so, I've been struggling for years with heavy menstrual cycles. And so I've been given different birth control pills to try to get it to be lighter, all kinds of
Mhm.
things. And so it had always just been, well, you're overweight, you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and you're overweight. You need to do something with your weight. But the thing is, it can never really be nipped in the bud because the other side of that is with polycystic ovarian syndrome, it's going to always throw your hormones out of whack and you're going to always be overweight. So I'm like, well, how in the heck do I get it
Right.
to balance out? Because, like, literally, there would be like, I tried this fast, I went extreme. I tried a water fast. I went extreme because I was like, okay, I
A
can't,
water
there's absolutely no
fast?
calories. I did a 3-day water fast because I was like trying to prove to myself, like, okay, I can lose some weight. And I lost 3 pounds in
Oh
this
my
water
God.
fast. I was angry and I was hungry.
Yeah.
And that's why I only did 3 days because this water fast was supposed to do all this detoxing and rebalancing. And I was angry at the end of the 3 days. I was like, I'm going to go get some food because all I
Mhm.
did was go to the restroom in them 3 days. That's all
Right.
I did. And that's where where them 3 pounds went to is going back and forth to the restroom. So I kept talking to my doctors. And the thing with that is something that I realized for me is that people were not really listening to me, the doctors I had. Because I'm like, even though I have the polycystic ovarian syndrome, what else can I do? Like, there's got to be something else. There's got to be some other screening because the heavy menstrual cycles, my cycles would go on for days and they would be like heavy flow. And so I went to a doctor when I moved to Texas. I moved out of state for some time. And she had told me, well, you need to stop eating fried foods and you need to stop with the carbs. And I said, ma'am, if you looked at my refrigerator, you would see I don't fry stuff. I don't eat a whole bunch of carbs. I'm really literally fruits, vegetables, fish, and chicken, and beef every now and again. Because by then I had started kind of moving my diet to where I have it now. And so she was very much like, well, I know how African American people eat, and she was not African American. I said, okay, so let me go on and get about this appointment. This appointment's over. Um, and I had to start looking into some things because I still then didn't think it was anything that was cancerous. So in that process, I ended up moving back to Oklahoma. I had a doctor that was listening to me. She was hearing me. And I said, something is going on. Like, I've had 2 children. My tubes are tied. I'm like, look, I'm not even getting ready to have any more kids. You can take everything with y'all. I don't even want it. And so she said, well, I want to send you to a specialist to do a biopsy. And during that biopsy of my lining, my uterine lining, that's when a polyp came out. And that's how it was discovered I had cancer.
Wow.
And so when the polyp came out, the doctor that did the biopsy, she was like, wait a minute. She had the lining. She was like, there's this polyp. I was like, polyp? What you mean? What you mean? What's a polyp? What you doing?
Right.
And
What
so,
is that?
yeah, what is that? And so she said, well, I'm going to send it off to the lab. She said, but don't worry. I will let you know as soon as I get it from the lab. And I've always heard the don't worry, I'll get you the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. And I don't hear back from weeks. And
Right.
so I said, ma'am, I'm going to let you know I'm going to worry you. So I'm going to be calling you tomorrow if you don't call me. And so when she set the specimen there, I said, well, I just want to sit here. And I sat there and cried because I knew it wasn't going to be good, whatever it was.
Oh goodness.
And so I cried
Did
and I prayed and I prayed and I cried. And she had her nurse call me the next morning. She let me know she called it precancer. And I said, what is precancer? What does that mean? And so she said, well, I don't want to scare you on the phone. I said, ma'am, if it's cancer, just tell me what it is. Just say what it is.
right. I'm
I
already
said,
on the phone.
yeah, I'm already on the phone with you. You know, I already said the C word. You know, I already cussed at me.
Right.
And so she said, well, it's cancer. I said, okay. I said, well, when do I need to come up there? Today, tomorrow? Are we taking this out? What are we doing? And she was like, well, we're going to schedule it out for, I think I got 3 months after that call, they scheduled it at the soonest appointment. And so she said, what you need to do is eat as clean as possible. So when I say I cut out meat, I cut out carbs, I cut out sugar, I cut out everything. And she said the thing about uterine cancer, though, is that it won't move to other organs. It'll stay in your uterus, but it'll just keep replicating itself and just grow out of control. I said, well, that's a good thing to know. However, because your uterus is constantly trying to cover it over with all the excess blood, that's what pulls and pulls, and that's what can create the excess bleeding. I said, well, cut it out. I did not know that.
Oh, okay. So it's trying to heal itself,
It's,
or
yes, by
okay.
covering it over and trying to push it out and slough it off. And that's where all that pooling of excess blood can come from. And I was like,
Hmm.
well, see, if when I was originally going to the doctor, if that could have been discussed with me, and that could have even been a biopsy or something that's looked into, but it wasn't. And so that's where I encourage women, period, especially women of color, to keep asking questions, keep going back to the doctor. If that doctor doesn't work, find you another doctor. Go, 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 ask questions, ask questions. Be as difficult as you need to be for your health. Because if I had just stuck with that other doctor that told me to stop eating all the fried foods and the carbs, and she didn't know who was in my kitchen, who knows what could have been going on continuously in my body.
Right, right. That is a good point, and I'm happy that you said, let me go somewhere else,
Hmm.
because unfortunately, we do have some doctors that do not have very great bedside manner.
Yeah,
And if you make a statement like that and you're talking to a person that's of a different culture or race than who you
yeah,
are, then you need to sit back and reevaluate yourself. Because
yeah.
you can't put all of us in the same bucket and say we
Right,
all eat fried foods and have all these other things, because we don't all. And she doesn't even know you. Like,
right.
I mean, that, to me, that hurts my heart, because I've heard different stories like that before where they didn't feel supported by their doctor.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, there are some that they don't take the initiative to go somewhere else. They just keep going back. And
Yeah,
they say,
that
"Well,
same.
she said it was nothing." But
Yeah,
yes, thank you. So what year was this when you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed in 22.
And
So I had a full hysterectomy in 22 because
okay.
they originally she said that well, you can just have your uterus removed and then you can leave your ovaries. I said no, there's no reason for all that. Just take everything because I'm not going to use any of it. Don't need
Right.
don't need to leave any of that in there. Um, so did that. I did get to see I did have an ovary that was horribly cystic. And so I did get that taken out. And the doctor that did do all the removal of everything, I did talk to her about like what could cause that. And I know for me, when I was younger, I got perms like crazy. And I'm not saying it was the perms, but I know that's something that was in my environment that I kept doing on my own. So up until probably my oldest is 16, so probably 20 years ago is when I stopped getting perms. And so because I was natural several years right before she was uh, conceived, um, but I stayed in the beauty shop. Like I promise you, I think I paid the mortgage and the car payments for several cars that my beautician had. Because when I say I was in there every couple of days, I was like, you see this edge, just a little puffy. Put me
Oh,
a little cream.
not
I
not
kid
fix,
you.
not a touch
Yeah,
up, a fix up, a
I stayed in there with a touch up, with a bump this, this, and spritz was my friend. Between spritz and perm, that was my stuff. Okay, I was crunchy and flat. So that could have been a contributor. I don't know. It could have been, I was young in my 20s. You eat horrible, you stay up late.
Yeah.
All kinds of things could have been contributors. It could have been something in family genetics. Never know. So that I did have one ovary that was very cystic. The other one was fine, but I was like, nope, take all of it. I don't want to deal with any of it. So
Did they ask you to do genetic testing?
no, they didn't ask to do
Okay.
any of that.
Okay. I was just wondering, If they that was because sometimes they ask, but sometimes I guess they don't. But do you have a family history of any type of cancer?
Not that I know of. My mom had a cyst in her breast, but it was not cancerous.
Oh,
So
okay.
there was no other issue that I know of in any of the women on my mom's side. Now, my dad's side, I'm gonna just be upfront. They don't do the doctor. They rub some Vicks on it and
Not the
walk
Vicks
away.
and the Robitussin. Two
Red
scoops of
Robitussin.
Robitussin.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Put some
Okay.
icy hat on and
We
you'll be all right.
right. We got to do better. We working on it. We work. It's a work in progress. I know.
Right.
I know. I know some people like that myself. So
Right.
so you are not alone. Definitely not alone. So 2022. So has it been a year since your
Hmm.
diagnosis? Okay. Okay, it has. And did even though you had the full hysterectomy, did they try to do any type of other evasive treatments like chemo or radiation or
No, I didn't want any of
any?
that. I just
Oh, okay.
wanted the full hysterectomy because with the uterine cancer, you can do the oh gosh, the ablation,
Oh,
which
okay.
will go over your whole uterine lining to attempt to kill the cells.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a chance that the cancer can come back, and I didn't want any of that because I've been told that the ablation can be painful. I'm not a pain person.
Yeah.
So I'll go through the surgery, just take everything with you, and I can go
Yeah.
through
Take
the
it.
through the healing of the surgery. And so that's what I chose to do. That's why I did the full hysterectomy because I didn't want to go back to hear that something had come back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well that's good. That's good that you got that squared away. And then do you have to do every 3 months follow up or labs or
No,
anything of
I
that
only have
nature?
to go back annually instead of every
Oh,
2 years for a pap smear. And that's
okay.
just because since everything is taken out, including my cervix, they have to test to make sure there is no cancerous cells there.
Right.
Where the incision was, where everything is healed over, make sure
Okay.
there's no cancerous cells, and that's it.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. And to be honest, you are the first person that I know that had this type of cancer. So it's really informative to me because, I know there's, gynecological cancers, but hearing about yours, it's really an eye opener for me to be able to understand how it works.
Right.
So was there a certain stage even after they did the biopsy? Did they determine you with the stage 1 or 2, or was it?
Now they didn't tell me that, and I didn't ask. And the reason I
Okay.
didn't ask because I know how emotional I was, and I was already in there
Oh
ugly
yeah.
crying, and so I didn't want to know any more than, "Hey, just take everything with you."
Mhm. That was
And
that was your
she,
that was your key word. What your key phrase? Take everything with you.
yes, take everything with you. And so I think the my doctor as well as the physician during the surgery, I think they knew not to tell me too much because I was trying to hold it together, but I was on that
Yeah.
shaky edge that it was like, if I say too much to her, she is gonna do that ugly face, it's gonna all scrunch up,
Right.
and the waterworks are coming. So they knew because even the morning of the surgery, the doctor came there, and so she kept coming in to check on me, like, "Well, are you okay?" I was like, "Look, ma'am, I appreciate you. I love you, and God is with you. If you come in here one more time, I'm gonna cry. Don't come here and check on me no more." And I was like, "I'm not trying to be rude, but don't come back in here."
He said, "Don't come back in here." It was building up that anxiety. Like, okay, don't listen. Stop. Don't come in here anymore. I get you.
Right? Love you and I appreciate you, but now go on now.
Oh goodness. Well, that's good. So with your treatment team or your treatment care team that was providing care for you, do you feel like they listened to your needs and was supportive even while you in the hospital recovering? Because you can't just jump up and walk out after having that type of surgery.
Right. I think they did really, really well.
Okay.
with asking me questions. The team that I was with was at Lakeside, and they were amazing for me. The referral I appreciated because with my doctor listening, I know many times from my own experience, I experienced, well, maybe she's, exaggerating with the amount of the flow because my flow was like horrible, you know. And when I would tell my physician that, my gynecologist that, they're like, oh, well, it can't be that bad. It is. It is
Mhm.
that bad. And my menstrual cramps were horrible as well. Like I would be doubled over, like holding on to stuff, trying to like straighten up to start the day. And so for the doctor to really be listening and to hear, and especially for me to be, and I hate to say this, at this advanced age, still experiencing that because I'm supposed to be closer to menopause than I am to early stages of fertility. So my body's supposed to be slowing down, not still keeping the same pace I was in my 20s. And so when she's still hearing that this same level is still going, and I'm, 20 years down the road, and she's like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why? And she's looking into it. I appreciated that. And I
Definitely.
appreciated that it wasn't like, well, you need to, look at what you're eating and you need to do this because also many people that know me know that, I'm not a couch potato. I'm usually up and out and doing stuff and whatever. So that's not, I don't have a sedentary lifestyle. Um, so that wasn't a problem either. And to be very mindful that she took all of that into account, I truly, truly appreciated being heard finally.
Finally, that's the
Yeah.
key thing. Well, thank goodness for that, because
Mhm.
I think that makes a difference as far as your experience, and if you would recommend anyone to go back there, or even having that doctor. So that's good. So it's been a year.
Mhm.
How are you feeling?
I feel amazing. Now, the other thing too, that since everything has been removed, including that polycystic ovary, I've been able to lose weight.
Okay,
So
there
weight
you
has
go.
been like falling off, falling off, falling off. And I'm like, let's see. And I want to go back to Texas and find a doctor and be like, see,
Uh,
told you.
right,
Try to tell you I'm not sitting up here eating fried chicken.
right. Like don't do it. Don't do it.
But it's I feel better. My hormones are better. Of course, for the rest of my life I'll have to take estrogen because my ovaries are gone, and I'm fine with that. I went into instant menopause, so I get to experience the hot flashes, which haven't been so bad. I take a all natural supplement for that,
Oh,
and
you
that's been
do.
helpful. Yeah,
Okay.
estrogen is what I do for that. Mhm.
Okay. And that's a natural supplement for you?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Ah,
I try to
okay.
be as all natural as possible. If I can find something all natural to replace the estrogen, because it's a
Mm-hmm.
synthetic estrogen, I'll use that. I haven't found anything yet that's gotten consistent, consistent response. But right now, I take a synthetic estrogen. But everything I do, as far as like with my food, I still do a lot of well, you've seen on my Facebook page, I do a lot of vegetables, fruits. I still limit my meat intake, and the meats that I do are chicken and fish. I try to do the stick with brands that I know are low in hormones that they give their chickens. I even raise my own chickens, so I have my own eggs.
You ate some chickens?
Yes,
Wait a minute.
they are easy. So if you're in a place where you can get your own chickens, get you some baby chicks, raise
Oh.
them, feed them. They eat vegetables, so you can feed them naturally. You can
Mm-hmm.
keep them antibiotic free and hormone free with spices and herbs from your own cabinet, and have your own eggs that are hormone free.
Wow. Now, how many chickens do you have?
We had 22. Something attacked my chickens because I had to move them out to the country. So we're down a few chickens, but we just picked up with 3 dozen eggs yesterday. So they
Oh
give 3
wow.
and I have some to deliver because I give some away.
So wait, so you started off with 22 chickens and something attacked your chickens? Like
Yeah,
you
because they're
think
out in the
it's
country and I haven't moved. We're in the process of moving, and something attacked my
okay.
chicken and got a couple of them, but it will
Oh.
will be okay.
Are, are they still small like you can hold them in your hand?
No, they big chickens. Like if I
Oh.
were to defeather them, we could eat them. They the big
Oh,
chickens like
okay.
that you would get in the store.
Wow. And how long have you had them?
Oh, we've had chickens for several years now.
Oh,
Hmm.
wow. That's neat. Listen, okay, so let me tell you countryside of me. Is that okay? I guess it
Okay.
ain't really countryside. But anyway, the last time I've seen a live chicken, and I mean as far as a family live one, was well, my brother-in-law had some, but my grandfather. My grandfather had chickens, and they were like my friends. So, I was a little girl then. They were like my friends. So, I name them and, go on by my business. But I really just love to be able to have the chickens just around. And we even had a rooster. But I never really associated, like, when I'm eating fried chicken, that you took one of, like, Ben or Henry or Annette from outside and put her on the
Hmm.
table. I never really, I never really caught that until I was looking for Ben one day because I had named him and I was like, Grandma, I don't see Ben outside. Where is Ben? And she said, Honey, you just ate Ben. And I was just beyond devastated. Like, what the? But anyways, so,
And it was
but I think
delicious.
it was, and that's my favorite food. So I ain't even, I ain't even gonna lie. But anyways, but yeah, but I think that is neat to have your own chickens. Now
Mhm.
and then the eggs and oh my
Mhm.
gosh. That is
Yeah.
just because I love to have a garden. Are you
Garden
into
too.
gardening?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What did you plant this year?
So this year we had collard greens. It was a smaller garden than usual. So I had
I'm on my
collard
way.
greens. I'm starting a peach tree. So I have two peach trees that are starting. I have an olive tree. I have pomegranates that are starting. Um, we did squash,
Pomegranates.
onions. We did potatoes. We did peas and kale.
So you have a extra room I could just be in the back. You won't even know I'm there. I promise.
Hey, when I say I'm country, I'm country. You go out in the backyard and pick it, and I'll go on and put it in a pot, and we got it.
Oh, right. Especially when you said collard greens. I'm like, wait, I'm on my way. Hold on.
Mhm.
Oh my, yeah. Girl, you pull it in the country. Country, country. I love that. And them peaches, are the peaches ready? Were they
No,
ready this year?
they're brand new little bitty trees, so
Oh,
they'll have to take a couple of years to come together.
yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna be ready. When I see you post fresh peaches from my yard,
Hmm.
you ain't even gotta say nothing. I'm on my way. I'll just
Yes,
have me
come
a little
on through.
bag ready. Yes.
Come on through.
Oh, that's and gardening is very therapeutic.
It is. It is.
It is. I took the time to make one in my backyard, and I made it in ground, which caused
Mhm.
a lot of pain for me later because it was a lot. And so I said I'm gonna do it above ground next time because I can't do all that bending and stooping and pulling constantly
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
long period of time. But I really do enjoy the nature of gardening and then seeing the bees come and the butterflies and how they just kind of help to make the little plants populate. I think
Yeah.
that's just so cute. And I don't think a lot of people know how our food are really created. I mean, not
Yeah.
the manufactured part, but the actual farmers that are taking the time to put it in the ground and all of that. I don't think people really understand or appreciate the love of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it tastes better
Mm.
when it comes out your own backyard after you done grew it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not even a cantaloupe girl, but when I messed around and planted some, that cantaloupe was so sweet, baby. I said, oh, that's it right there. That's
Yeah.
it. Oh my goodness. So now I got off track because we were talking about gardening and the chickens and
Now, I do have some stats too that I did want to share about the
yes.
uterine cancer. Now, the one thing that I do want to kind of point out, especially for African American women, is that we are 2 times more likely to die from uterine cancer.
Mm.
And there isn't a reason that has been stated as to why we are, but the thing that, from my personal experience, I think is because we are least likely to be diagnosed early enough to do something about it. Because from my experience, like, if I kept getting the same doctors I had before and it kept getting looked over and looked over and looked over or minimized, 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 there's no telling how long it could have gone on. So I think that's another reason I encourage people to be persistent. Also, new cases of uterine cancer have gone up 12%,
Wow.
and
Twelve
people passing
percent.
away from it have gone up 12%. Also, one thing to be very mindful of is if your menstrual cycle has been heavy or increased in its heaviness, that can be a sign of uterine cancer or
Mm. Okay.
concerns that you need to let your doctor know that there is something going on. Even if there is pain during or after sex, that can be a sign or a symptom. um, Longer menstrual cycles that have spotting, like your menstrual cycle may stop and then several days later there's spotting, that can be a sign or a symptom as well.
Oh, I hope you guys are taking notes. All these different signs and symptoms, things we didn't know or even consider.
Mhm.
Definitely. So the question about the flow,
Mhm.
they say typically it should be 3 days, 3 or 4 days. So if we're going into day 5 and 7, that's something we should definitely be alarmed about.
I think so, because see, and the thing is with the heaviness, like it should titrate off, right?
Right.
Mine wasn't. Mine was like start, increase. And if you're having something
Okay.
like that, or if you're starting and it's the same overall, like it's consistent, that's a concern. It shouldn't be. Like, because even I asked one of my doctors, like, am I dying? Like, where is all this blood coming from? Because another thing that I had was I had low iron. And that's another reason why people have low iron, because your body's constantly trying to replenish the lining, and so it's pulling from your iron because it needs to make an iron rich lining for just in case you do become pregnant, for your egg to implant, right? So it's
Right.
pulling and pulling and pulling, and my iron was always in the dumps, and so I could never get iron in. And so I was taking all kinds of iron pills, all kinds of iron pills, and iron would not hold. Well, now, I mean, I have no problem with iron, because I mean, I was like literally like taking iron pills, eating spinach, eating kale, eating everything I could find with iron in it. And even still, when I would go like the next day and get my blood tested, they'd be like, well, you're still low. How?
How? Yeah. Goodness
And so
gracious.
it's like, you have to be really mindful, because I mean, not to be too explicit, but I was using two heavy flow pads at once, and that's too
Mhm.
much.
Right.
So
That's
when
too
you
much.
have to be very vocal with your doctor, and some people may feel like very concerned about, well, I don't want to tell them too much information. Tell them all the information. They're the doctor. They should not be blushing.
Everything. Right. They need to
Yeah.
know
If your
everything.
doctor is blushing, that's a problem.
Mhm. Mhm. They
So,
shouldn't be in that profession
right. They shouldn't
because
be
you should
clutching their
know.
pearls. Like, wait a
Right.
minute, that's TMI. No, it's not TMI. It's just your health. It's your life.
Mhm. Definitely. And if you don't tell them, how are they going to know how to refer you
Exactly.
or whatever that they may need to do? I mean, that's a good
Exactly.
question. They have to think about that. Don't be ashamed to share what's going on so that way we have a better understanding. I say we, but the doctors have a better understanding of, hey, I need to, that's something that we need to be alarmed about.
Exactly.
big
And
time.
asking for a screening. I did not know anything, as you said, about uterine cancer. I had never heard about it. And so, if that polyp hadn't come out that day, I would have never known anything. So that was like a God thing for me.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so when I talk to people about it, I always encourage people, ask for a cancer screening. What they gonna tell you no?
Hmm.
Because I mean, why would they tell you no?
Sometimes they'll tell you no if they trying to rush you on out, don't want to have time to talk about it,
Mhm.
or if they feel like it's an insurance type thing. And at one point, hopefully one day, we will get to a point where we won't be concerned about, is your insurance covering this? Will
Exactly.
your insurance cover this and that? Because is my life more important than the insurance? I mean, I'm just
Right.
starting to wonder, you know. At
Right.
some point, I need for you to do this screening so I can know if there is something I need to be alarmed about. Now, if it costs X, Y, Z thousands or whatever, then okay, we can work on that. But I'd rather know than not know, and then something happens to me and I'm, you know, in a
Right.
different situation and it could be worse.
Exactly.
Yeah. So hopefully one day we'll get there one day.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think it will take a lot of people like us, people that are passionate about advocating for your health and taking care of yourself, to continue to stay on the doctors, stay on
Mhm.
the health professionals, the researchers, all of them, and just kind of let them know, hey, you don't treat us like we're just a number.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the thing. Don't treat us like we're just a number. We're human just like you are. And we want the utmost respect and just kind of want to know truthfully about what we're getting ourselves into or what we need to expect when we're getting this condition.
Right.
So, yeah. Mm. Well, I want to say thank you for sharing those numbers,
Yeah.
because those statistics, they come out I want to say they come out every year through the American Cancer Society and other organizations that get this information together and kind of let us know how many women or individuals are being diagnosed with certain type of cancer, and then how they project it will increase. And so these
Right.
numbers come out every time, and if you look at it, African American women are always 2 times more likely to die.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why is that? I just feel like that we need to start there. Why are we always two more times likely to die?
Yeah.
Not likely to seek help, but to die.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I don't know. Don't get me started. Yeah.
Yeah. I have
But
my soapbox for that, but I'm not gonna get on my soapbox. So
okay. We'll get on we'll get it on another day. Is that okay?
yes.
But I am hoping to start a cancer care series
Okay.
in 2024. I think that that is something that anyone that's going through cancer or in the midst of cancer need to have that discussion. They need to know what to do and how to do it. Because while you're going through your treatments, it can be confusing when they're telling you to do one thing. Like, for instance, they'll say, hey, stay away from caffeine, but then you got coffee out in the waiting area.
Yes. And that's the only option.
Right, right. Like, okay, that's confusing. But I hope to have you on that series just so we can kind of talk. And I want to talk about your lifestyle because you said you've made some changes,
Yes.
um, as far as your eating habits and things. What was a major factor for you to change? What was a major factor?
Well, my thing is, once I got the diagnosis and I started like looking up stuff and Googling stuff and reading stuff, and I started looking at one thing that kind of stood out to me is how food can impact everything, especially for women. because I'm a woman, how it can impact the delicate balance of our bodies. And so, with all the additives that are in foods nowadays, and especially specifically the processed foods and even some meat products, I was like, okay, so how can I control what is impacting me? Well, I'm already, taking out the hair stuff. So I was like, well, let me take out the process as much of the processed foods as I can. Well, the first thing I did was like, I can't be a vegan because in my mind, a vegan is somebody that's eating raw stuff all day, every day, that it ain't got no seasoning, it's cold and crunchy. And so I
Wait,
had
wait, wait, hold on. Hold on. Um, you said
I
it's
couldn't do
raw,
it.
cold, and crunchy.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it at first. I was like, oh wow, that does not sound satisfying. Sounds like I'm gonna be angry and aggressive. So what I did first was I started following people that looked like me that
Mhm.
did uh, vegetable focused meals. And
Okay.
so I could handle a vegetable focused meal. I couldn't handle vegan because I still had that stigma going with vegan.
Right, right.
And so when I started seeing that they were making like collard greens, you just take the meat out. Okay, now that just makes regular sense. I've
Yep.
been doing that anyway. And I was seeing that dishes I was doing anyway would kind of still be consistent, like, okay, I can do that. And I started doing that. And so one day I made these tacos, these soft shell tacos, but I did it with pecans as the meat instead of ground beef. And I didn't tell my girls. So I
Uh-oh.
made it just like it was regular ground beef. And I still use cheese. I use regular cheese so they wouldn't be too suspicious because them two investigators will know everything. And so I did it and I put it on the plate and I was like, so tell me what you think. And I made some shredded mushroom tacos with the king oyster mushrooms. I shredded them like
Ooh.
it was chicken and I made some chicken tacos. Put it on. I was like, "Oh, mom, these are so good." Blah, blah, blah. They ate them all up. I said, "Oh, look at God! Won't He do it?" Because they didn't know anything. Swallow them
Right.
things on the whole. I said, "Okay." Because if those two eat it, I can keep it moving. Because if they
Mm-hmm.
won't eat it, it's gonna be a fight. Because I can't make beef and chicken and then turn around over here and eat beans and vegetables and nuts. Because
Right.
I'm gonna end up having a taste test what I make for them. So since they could handle it, I knew I could handle it, and that's how it really started. Because I
Wow.
used them as my little guinea pigs. Like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it, and they did it. And I was like, okay, we're in. We are in.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, I have not tried the walnut recipe. I
I did
actually have,
pecans. I
I
did
mean,
pecans.
pecans. Okay,
Mhm.
because is there a way to make it with walnuts too, or is it pecans?
Yes, they've done it with walnuts. I just personally don't care for walnuts in regular life.
Okay. Okay.
I prefer pecans.
Okay. And it was pretty easy for you?
Oh yeah, it was good.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
good.
We're gonna have a cooking segment if that's okay.
Okay,
And we're
yes.
gonna use pecan so you can kind of because I've never done it is what I'm saying. I have the nuts, but I never used them for that.
Hmm.
But I think that's pretty neat. And if they love it, trust me, I use Reggie all the time as a pecan. And listen, when he tears it up and then after he gets through eating it, oh, that was pretty good. What was it? Oh, let me tell you. So yeah, but it does work though. And that's good. That's good. Do you see that with you exploring with different types of food that it has opened your horizon to how you can prepare food differently now?
Oh yes. Oh
Okay.
yes. It's and actually it's opened me up to a whole bunch of different stuff because now I go to the Asian market more than I used to because I used to just go for a few specific things. Now I'm all up and down the aisles and they know me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here come Keisha because I'm there first thing in the morning because I can't go in the evening because the butcher gets active and I can't do all the
Oh,
smells from the butcher. So I
yeah.
gotta go first thing in the morning. But yeah, when they see me drive up in my little old car, they be like, "Oh, she here," and I am because I'm on every aisle. I'm like, y'all ain't got no so and so yet. I need some such and such. They be like, What you know about? I know. That's why I'm asking for it. That's what I need.
This is what
So
I
yeah.
know.
Right.
well, well, that's good. So have you? I think you've tried jackfruit because I remember you
Yes.
had a
Yes.
video about
Mhm.
jackfruit. What's your
Yes.
what's your favorite recipe with jackfruit?
Well, gosh, I don't know.
Uh
There's
oh.
one that is now I'm like, let's see. There's one that is pot roast. You can make it with make
Oh.
pot roast, but you got to
Mhm.
do it with the one that's canned,
Mhm.
and that's canned in brine. That one's really good. I haven't done that on one of my Facebook lives yet, but I got to figure out how to do that because it's done in your crock pot. I got to figure out how to do that over like a time lapse and post that. That one's really, really good. Really
Okay.
good, especially now that it's cooler. It's like a cold weather kind of food.
Right, right,
Mhm.
definitely. Okay, well, look at you. Go ahead. So we're this is gonna be in the future, guys. So and I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget. But we're gonna do a cooking segment with Keisha, so we can kind of explore things. Because I usually do cooking with V, and to be truthfully, I did it in January, and y'all haven't seen me back since then. I did a meatless Monday. And so now I've been doing everything else and I haven't done that part. So I said, you know what, let me bring that back and let me ask Keisha if she wants to join in and we can do some cooking things. We may call it something fancy. We're gonna come up with
Okay,
something.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll come up with something.
yes,
I think that's cool that you've made some lifestyle changes and you've noticed the benefits and even changing your stigma about vegan because I was the same way. And so that's I ain't no lie. I was the same way, and I told myself, I said, let me just start looking at other things. So I follow Fit Men Cook. I don't know if you know Kevin. He's really cool. He has all different types of recipes. Um, but following him and then of course Aunt Tabitha and all these other different influencers, it really just kind of helps you to see things a little bit different and you try it. Just give it a
yes,
try, people. Just give it a try. Just give,
yes,
because once you try, you be like, oh, that is pretty good. That is
yeah,
pretty good.
yes.
Yes, and it makes a difference. It does.
It does.
So
Mhm.
so so Keisha, what is one thing? Because the other part with Keisha that we have similar, because we've been talking about what things we have similar together, is Keisha is passionate about mental health. She's a mental health therapist.
Yes.
Um, and so throughout this whole experience and things, because I know there's been a lot of traumatic things happening at once, what is something that you would encourage people to do in regards to mental health?
Oh my gosh. Talk to somebody. Talk to some. Okay, now let me qualify that. Let me qualify that because you
Okay.
can't talk to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to somebody that you trust about what's going on with you. So find your group of support folks that are trustworthy that will call you on yourself. I encourage everyone to develop their support system. It doesn't have to be a big, huge one, but have you several people that you can call on. That hey, if something's going on, those are your people. You can call them. You can cry on their shoulder. You can laugh together. They will celebrate with you. Those are your people. Call your folks. Also, speak to a mental health provider. I will let you know ahead of time. There is a waiting list with many people because many folks are starting to realize the importance of mental health and seeking out help from a mental health provider. Don't get discouraged. If you come into contact with a person that you'd like to seek services from and they have a waiting list, get on the waiting list. Still keep your support system. You may look and find someone else in the meantime to meet with as a professional until that other person's waiting list gets to where you can meet with them. But get some help. But always talk. Be vocal. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. And then there's also the resource of 988. Call 24/7. Call, 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 call. Everybody needs to talk to somebody at some point. You are not an island of one. If you were, you'd be here by yourself.
Well, there we have it. I think she summed that up very well. Thank you, Keisha.
Yes.
I do appreciate you coming on Share the Tea Tuesdays. It has been a blessing. This won't be the first or the last time that you guys will see here on this production. I'm about to say production show. I'm just gonna keep claiming that something gonna happen. I don't know why it's there, but it's there.
Yes.
Anyways, and so I wanted to let you guys know. Don't forget to follow Share the Tea on all social media channels at Share the Tea with V. I'm on all social medias except for the snap of the chat. And if you are on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on LinkedIn. I'm almost there with 150, so I'll be able to go live on there as well with Share the Tea Tuesdays and be able to bring it out to a broader audience. So I do appreciate you again, Keisha, and
Thank,
hopefully you will have a blessed week, of course, right?
thank you. You too.
Yes, yes, definitely. And until we meet again, hey, you guys remember to be intentional, be insightful, and be impactful in everything that you do. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye, guys.